Hey, my name is Sydney and I am so excited to be doing this because I have been wanting to form a booktube channel for quite a while. So I thought I should go ahead and do the booktube newbie tag. I'm also gonna do the reading habits tag because I thought it would be fun. So join me. So the first question for the newbie tag is, why did you start this channel? I have been wanting to do this for a while. I've always been an avid booktube watcher. Whenever I would watch booktubers, of course I'd be inspired to read, but I'd also be thinking about what type of videos I would make or what my vlogs would be like or what I would say about this book, blah, 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 blah. So I got enough encouragement from my friends and family to go ahead and do it, and no time like the present. So the second question is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to booktube? Not gonna lie, this question does inspire a little bit of imposter syndrome. I am excited to bring some diversity to booktube, of course, especially when it comes to fantasy. I do feel like, I might give the millennial answer of I'm a special snowflake and my own personality is unique and fun and blah, 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 which is true. I like to knit, I like cats, I live in a big city. So if you can relate to any of that and maybe my sense of humor, then maybe you'll like my content. So the third question is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Honestly, I'm excited that I'm excited. I feel like that's a good omen. I feel like I'm on like a journey or a quest or something, like kind of figuring out this whole content creation thing and getting a sense of like who I am as a content creator, I guess. So I feel like that's fun. I'm also really excited to kind of get a sense of who likes my content, because my hope for this channel is that I'm finding folks who think kind of similarly to me and like the diverse array of books that I like. I know that when I'm finding new booktubers that I really like it when folks are kind of in a similar time of life as me or a similar age or have similar views. Of course, similar reading taste too, but so I think I'm excited for that. Like, who are y'all? That's what I am excited for. So the fourth question is, why do you love reading? And that's such a beautiful question, of course. I mainly read fiction, so I do love the immersive experience of it all. I also love that as a reader, you are kind of co-creating a world and universe with the author themselves. Because, I mean, an author can do their best to describe a character, a place, a setting, a moment, a feeling. However, you're gonna visualize that character, that place, however you visualize it. Moment of silence for all the readers out there who thought tall, dark, and handsome meant this, but the author actually meant this, because I'll take both, but that's exactly what I mean when I say co-creating that experience. That you're gonna feel what you feel, whether the author inspired that on purpose or not, and I think that's really cool. Okay, so the fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? And I really like this question because honestly, the first book that got me into reading was Charlotte's Web. When I was like 4 or 5, my mom would read like a chapter a night when I was going to bed. And then we went to Blockbuster and got the animated movie edition or whatever. And I just thought it was really cool to have that pairing. And of course, that bonding moment with your mom. The series that I really liked when I was growing up is Junie B. Jones, because she was hilarious to me. And I just loved how many books there were. Like, I don't think I've even read all of the Junie B. Jones books. I also really liked Goosebumps. That was the first time that I ever felt like, oh my gosh, I know that these are just words on a page, but I do not want to sleep in the dark. And it's kind of fun to be scared, to be honest. So those are kind of like my answers for this question. Oh my gosh, and I remember we took a field trip when I was in elementary school to see R.L. Stine reading, oh my gosh, I forgot what the book was, but it was about like two siblings who were like in a haunted lighthouse or something, and he read the first chapter out loud. The first time, yeah, that was the first time I ever met an author in real life, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, wow, it was amazing. So the sixth question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So when I read this question, my first thought is I would ask Allison Pages how she decorates her home, because I feel like that's goals. Not very bookish answer, but that's my honest answer. I mean, I guess I would also ask, how do people read like, 600-page books like in 2 days? I guess most booktubers, their job is reading, but that's really impressive. So like, slow readers unite over here, because I don't know if I could do that. I feel like I used to be able to, but I don't know if I can anymore. Okay, so the seventh question is, what challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Imposter syndrome for sure. Perfectionism. I also think it's gonna be important for me to not get my self-worth as a person and a creator, to not get tied up with view count or subscribers or something like that. I feel like it's easy for me to forget that YouTube is technically social media, and that's a little trap that you can sometimes find yourself in, and I just do not want to be in that trap. I want to feel like I'm having fun and doing something that I find inspiring, like for me, you know? So I'm trying not to touch that. Question 8 is, when did you start reading? To be honest, I think I started loving reading when I learned how to read. And I think I learned how to read in like pre-K or kindergarten, which is such a weird thought that we were all illiterate at some point in our lives. It's kind of a unifying human experience when you think about it. But yeah, I think the only hiatus I ever took from reading was in college, because I was just so overwhelmed with the amount of school related reading that we had to do. The last thing I wanted to do to relax was actually read another book. You know, I had like a little 4-year hiatus there, but I'm back at it and I love it still. Question 9 is, where do you read? I mainly like to read at home. Every now and then, like if I'm commuting to school or work, I will read on the train, I will read on the bus. I will try to go to the park to get fresh air and read, but I get so overwhelmed with all of the like people, the birds chirping, the grass touching my feet type of energy that like I almost can't focus. So whenever I try to read outside, I will reread something, or it'll be something like a cozy mystery or a contemporary romance where I don't have to cling on to every single last word. Can anybody relate to that? I feel like I haven't really told anybody that before. So question 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? I think I like to read a little bit of everything, mainly fiction. I do steer towards fantasy. I'll read YA when I'm feeling nostalgic. I'll read romance when I'm in the mood. I don't really read a lot of thrillers, but I'll read horror, or maybe a horror thriller, horror comedy sometimes. I will read a good middle grade. I love a good murder mystery. And every once in a while, like once in a blue moon, I will read a nonfiction book, but those are usually just like self-help books. Maybe I'll flip through a cookbook and get inspired, but that's about it. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the reading habits tag. We're gonna try to do this a little rapid fire. So the first question for the reading habits tag is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? I mainly like to read in this chair. It's so cozy. But I'll also read here, I'll read here, I will read here. But yeah, so mainly at home is my preference. Question 2, bookmark or random piece of paper. I'm trying to be an adult and use more bookmarks, but I do both. I also do not dog ear my books. I cannot stand when I have to. I will try to remember the page number before dog earing a book. I can't do it. Question 3, can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a chapter or a certain amount of pages? I just stop reading. Question 4, do you eat or drink while reading? Yes, I mainly drink while reading. And when I do eat, I'll try to make sure it's not too sloppy, or maybe I'll like use chopsticks for my hot Cheetos type of thing. Question 5, multitasking, music or TV while reading. I do not watch TV while reading unless it's like one of those reading ambiance things, which I would liken to music more than watching anything. But I do listen to music, like classical or adventure music, or you know, like video game music or jazz or something like that. Question 6, one book at a time or several at once, all the time, all my life. Question 7, reading at home or everywhere. I prefer reading at home, but technically I read everywhere. Question 8, reading out loud or silently in your head? Silently in my head. Question 9, do you read ahead or even skip pages? Ooh, I do not. I don't like that. I feel like it ruins the experience for me. The closest I'll come is like maybe the last 2 pages of a book. I'll be like, okay, and they live happily ever after, and the end, you know? Like I'm just like antsy and eager to end the book and go to the next one, but that's the closest I'll get. So question 10, breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I'll try my best to keep my books like new if I buy them new, but I buy most of my books used, and most of the time the spine's already cracked, and I do not mind. I feel like it's impossible not to crack the spine, but I don't do it on purpose. And question 11, do you write in your books? I don't. And I even tried the whole annotate your books for fun thing, and it just made me feel like I was in AP Lit class doing a homework assignment or something. I just, eh. And since I like buying used books myself and I like consigning books, I don't try to write in the books that often because I don't think that helps the resale or helps the experience for the next person that much. So, I guess not really. So I'm really excited that I did this. I'm excited to get to know y'all. I'm excited for you to get to know me, and I'm excited for this adventure that I'm on. So I will see you soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.